Daddy, please, don't leave me. Emily clutched her father's hand as the monitor flatlined. He was gone. 24 hours later, her husband Daniel walked in and said 4 words that shattered her world. I want a divorce. He didn't know she was 5 weeks pregnant. He didn't ask if she was okay. He didn't even wait until after the funeral. He just left. 24 hours later, he married someone else. 5 months later, Emily stood in a boardroom surrounded by lawyers and executives. Daniel was there too, his face frozen in shock. Because the company he worked for, the empire he thought he was climbing, it belonged to Emily. It always had. And Daniel, he'd just walked away from the woman who owned his entire future. Some women don't cry over spilled milk. They inherit the entire dairy farm and let karma do the pouring. If this story is giving you life right now, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment telling me. Have you ever been underestimated by someone who later realized they made the biggest mistake of their life? Let me take you back to where this story really begins. Emily Richardson sat in the stiff hospital chair, her hand clutched tightly around her father's. His breathing was shallow, ragged, and the beeping of the monitors felt louder than the silence of the room. Emily, he whispered, voice cracking. Listen, there's a key. He lifted his walking stick with trembling hands. A small brass key hung from the handle. It's all you'll need. Trust me. Everything you'll need. Emily's chest tightened. She tried to nod, but tears blinded her. Her father's eyes flickered open, briefly sharp and alive. You're never powerless, Emily, never alone. Remember that. And then he was gone. The monitors flatlined. Emily screamed, but the sound got caught in her throat. Her father was gone, and the room felt colder than the world outside. Her phone buzzed. A message from her husband, Daniel, still at the hospital? Heading to Dave's. Don't wait up. Emily stayed at the screen. Her father just died. She hadn't even told him about the baby yet. She'd just found out she was 5 weeks pregnant. Daniel didn't even ask how she was, didn't ask about the baby. He just left. Emily's hand gripped the walking stick tighter. The key was warm against her palm, almost as if her father's last breath had left its energy there. She sank onto the floor, tears streaming down her face. Her friend Lily was on the couch across the room, her own face pale and streaked with mascara. Hey, it's okay, Lily said softly. It's okay to cry. Emily shook her head. It's not okay. Everything's wrong. My dad, gone. The baby, and Daniel. Lily flinched. Don't even say it yet. Wait, let's breathe. She held out her hands, offering comfort. It's not important right now. Your dad, your baby, that's everything. Everything else can wait. Emily blinked through tears. She wanted to scream, to punch something, to make the unfairness of it all stop. Instead, she held the key and whispered, I have to know what he meant. I have to find out. Then we find out together, Lily said, standing. She put an arm around Emily's shoulder. I'm not leaving you. Less than 24 hours later, Emily's phone buzzed again. Lily leaned over her shoulder. Who is it? Emily's hand shook as she opened the video message. Her blood ran cold. There they were, Daniel, laughing, smiling, holding hands with Olivia. They were at some restaurant, bottles of champagne on the table, their faces full of triumph. The caption read, New Beginnings. Emily dropped the phone. Her stomach twisted. He married her. Less than a day after my dad died. Less than a day after burying the only person who truly loved me. Lily grabbed the phone gently. I can't even, she swallowed. Emily, I'm so sorry, but we need to think. Your father, he left you something. Remember the key? Emily nodded numbly, clutching the walking stick. Her body shook, grief and betrayal colliding. She felt hollow, broken, like the world had shifted and she was still standing in the middle of it. I have to see. I have to understand what he planned. Lily, I don't even know where to start. Lily's hand squeezed hers. Then we start with the key. Your dad wouldn't leave you unprotected. He never would. Emily took a deep, shuddering breath. He said I'd never be powerless. He said I'd have everything I need. But, Daniel, I trusted him. And now, her voice broke. Now he's celebrating while I'm still grieving. Lily hugged her. You're stronger than you know. And you won't be alone. We'll figure this out together. The rain started tapping against the window like a warning. Emily stared out, the world gray and wet. But she felt a tiny spark, buried under the grief, under the betrayal. I will find out what he meant. I will protect my baby. And I will survive this. Emily and Lily spent the night talking, going over every memory of her father, every lesson he had taught her. He had been poor in money but rich in love, and that love had been the only thing that had ever mattered. He had prepared her for life, for the unexpected. And now, the key, the walking stick, whatever it unlocked. Emily finally fell asleep holding the stick, exhausted, broken, but determined. When she woke, Lily was already up, coffee in hand. "We doing this today," she said firmly. "Bank, safety deposit box. Whatever your dad left. We find it." Emily nodded. She picked up the walking stick. The key glinted in the morning light. She felt her father's presence somehow, in the weight of the stick, in the key's cold metal. She could almost hear him whisper, "Trust the plan." At the bank, Mr. Whitmore, the branch manager, looked skeptical as Emily held out the key. "Miss Richardson, this is unusual. Your father would have needed to authorize access to this box himself." Emily's hands shook. He left this for me. He said it's everything I'll need." Lily stepped beside her. "It's okay. We're just here to see what he meant. That's all." Mr. Whitmore hesitated, then led them to a private room. Emily's heart pounded. The key slid into the lock, and with a click, the box opened. Inside, a single envelope, heavy and thick. Emily's hand shook as she pulled it out. I can't believe this," she whispered. Lily leaned over. "Don't open it yet. Breathe. Slowly." Emily did. And then she tore open the envelope. Her father had been preparing her for betrayal, for loss, for the worst. But he had also been preparing her for power, for control, for a life she could never have imagined. Emily felt the weight of it, the responsibility, and the thrill of knowing she was no longer helpless. And somewhere in the corner of the room, Lily whispered, "Whatever he left, Daniel has no idea." Emily swallowed. "He has no idea, and is going to regret it. But not yet. I need to understand everything first." The key in her hand felt like a lifeline. Her father had kept her safe, even in death. And Emily knew one thing for certain. Her life was about to change, and there was nothing Daniel could do to stop it. Emily stares at the documents in the envelope. Somewhere between grief, betrayal, and shock, a plan begins to form in her mind. The journey has begun. Emily sat at the bank's private room table, staring at the stack of papers in front of her. Her hands were still shaking from opening the envelope, but the key in her palm reminded her her father had planned for this. Every detail, every protection. Lily leaned over, eyes wide. "Emily, these numbers, these assets, do you even understand what you're looking at?" Emily swallowed hard. I think so. Stocks, real estate, bank accounts, controlling shares. Wait, some of these companies. Daniel works at some of them." Lily's brow furrowed. "You mean he's been working for your dad's companies this whole time?" Emily's stomach dropped. "Not just working, he's managing some. He never even told me. And all this time, he treated me like I was nothing. Like we had nothing." The thought made her chest ache. Betrayal wasn't even the word for it. It was humiliation, rage, powerlessness. She gripped the walking stick tighter. Her father had trusted her to see this through, to take control. And she would. The bank manager, Mr. Whitmore, cleared his throat. "Miss Richardson, there's more. Your father left instructions, specific instructions. He anticipated everything." Emily looked up. "Everything?" "Yes," Whitmore said carefully. "He left an irrevocable trust. Assets, shares, intellectual property, all protected from anyone, including your husband. He clearly expected you might face betrayal." Emily's jaw went tight. He knew Daniel would leave me or try to take advantage. Whitmore nodded solemnly. "It seems your father was not just thoughtful, he was brilliant. He made sure no one could touch what was yours." Lily squeezed Emily's hand. "Your dad really did everything he could to protect you and the baby." Emily swallowed, her mind racing. "So, Daniel thinks he can just walk away, take me for granted, and he has no idea. No idea I'm about to be untouchable. No idea that everything he's worked for belongs to me. Whitmore gave a small smile. It's going to take time to transfer control, but yes, it's all yours. Emily exhaled, finally letting herself feel a tiny spark of hope. Lily, we need a plan. We can't just sit here. Daniel, Olivia, they're celebrating, thinking they won. They think I'm broken. Lily nodded. Then let's prove them wrong. One step at a time. First, understand everything. Second, take control. Emily nodded, her face hardening. Her father's last words echoed in her mind. You are never powerless. She had believed them in theory. Now she would make them reality. Later that evening, Emily returned to her apartment with Lily. The sky outside was gray, mirroring the storm of emotions inside her. She set the walking stick carefully in the corner, as if placing her father's spirit there to watch over her. Lily made tea, breaking the silence. So, do we start with Daniel's company or the trust? Emily shook her head. We start with everything. I need to know exactly what he left me. Every asset, every account, every document. If my father prepared for betrayal, then we prepare for the whole world thinking they can't touch me. They spread the papers across the table. Emily scanned through company shares, real estate deeds, bank statements. Her head spun. $1 billion valuations, offshore accounts, stocks, even a private plane. Lily's mouth went dry. Emily, this is insane. Your dad, his, is a billionaire. Emily's voice was low, steady. Not just a billionaire, he's been hiding control of Daniel's entire company. Daniel doesn't even know he's been working for my dad all this time. Lily's eyes went wide. Wait, Daniel thinks he's been climbing the ladder, making his own success, and it was all yours? Our Emily. Emily nodded. Rage, grief, and all collided inside her. He left me untouchable, and yet he asked for divorce, betrayed me, celebrated while I was still at my dad's funeral, all because he thought I had nothing. Lily reached over and squeezed her hand again. Well, he's about to learn how wrong he was. And Olivia, forget her. She has no idea who she's dealing with. Emily exhaled slowly, letting the tension drain a bit. Step 1, learn everything. Step 2, plan. Step 3, rise. But, step 0, we have to make sure no one knows what I know yet. Daniel cannot touch a dime. Olivia cannot even imagine it. Lily smirked. Sounds like revenge, but classy revenge. Emily allowed herself the tiniest smile. It's not revenge. It's just justice and protection. For me, for the baby. The next morning, Emily got a call from the law firm managing her father's trust. Miss Richardson, this is Harold Ashford, your father's attorney. Congratulations. I'm sorry for your loss. Your father anticipated this moment. Everything is in place for you to assume control. Shall we schedule a meeting? Emily's voice was calm, measured, but her pulse raced. Yes, as soon as possible. Harold's tone grew serious. Miss Richardson, one more thing. Your father knew Daniel would act first. He even anticipated Olivia. He structured the trust to protect you and your child specifically from them. Nothing they do can override it. Emily's heart pounded. He really thought of everything, didn't he? Yes, Harold said softly, and he left instructions. You don't just inherit wealth. You inherit power, control, legacy. He expected you to rise, Emily. She gripped the phone, feeling her father's presence in her bones. I am never powerless. Lily stood behind her, whispering, this is it, your moment. Emily exhaled, a mixture of fear, excitement, and rage. It starts now. Step 1, Daniel. Step 2, Olivia. Step 3, the world. That evening, Emily sat by the window, looking at her phone. Another video notification had arrived. Lily gasped. Oh no, Emily, it's them. Olivia and Daniel, celebrating again. Emily clicked it. They were laughing, popping champagne. A text overlay read, nothing can stop new beginnings. Emily's lips pressed together. They think they won. They have no idea what's coming. And I'm going to make sure they never forget it. Lily put a hand on her shoulder. We'll figure it out. Together. Emily held the walking stick in one hand, phone in the other. The spark her father left her, that power, that plan, that protection, began to burn. She wasn't broken. She wasn't powerless. And Daniel, he was about to realize just how wrong he had been. Emily looks through the trust documents and sees something shocking, a clause revealing her father was the real owner of Daniel's company all along. Her pulse races. She whispers, "Daniel, you're not ready for this." Emily sat cross-legged on the couch, the walking stick leaning against the armrest. Papers were scattered everywhere, corporate documents, trust agreements, stock valuations. Lily hovered nearby, notebook in hand. Emily's hands trembled slightly as she pointed to a line in one of the documents. "Lily, look at this. My dad, he didn't just leave me money. He owned Daniel's company all along." Lily's eyes went wide. "Wait, what? That means Daniel thinks is running the show, climbing the ladder, and you've been the real owner this whole time." Emily nodded, jaw tight. "Exactly. And apparently, Dad left instructions on how to make the transition seamless. He even anticipated Olivia's moves." Lily leaned closer. "So, he literally set it up so Daniel can't touch a dime, even if he tries." Emily exhaled, a mix of relief and anger. "Yes, and the trust document says, if Daniel or Olivia try to interfere, there are legal safeguards. My father, he knew exactly what they would do." Lily shook her head in awe. "Your dad, Emily, your dad thought of everything. This is insane. I can't believe Daniel, your own husband, had no idea he was working for you this whole time." Emily swallowed hard. "He treated me like I was nothing. He didn't even care that my dad died yesterday. And now he thinks he's celebrating a win with Olivia. But the truth is coming for him." Her mind raced. Step 1, understand the empire. Step 2, take control. Step 3, make them realize just how wrong they were. The next morning, Emily and Lily arrived at the law firm. Harold Ashford, her father's trusted attorney, greeted them with a serious look. "Miss Richardson, I see you've started reviewing your father's documents." Emily nodded. "Yes, but there's something I need to understand. Dad says I'm the real owner of Daniel's company. How is that even possible?" Harold adjusted his glasses. "Your father, under the Hartwell Trust, retained majority ownership of all his holdings. Legally, Daniel was never the controlling partner. Your father structured the shares in a way that allowed Daniel to run operations without realizing who truly controlled the company." Emily's stomach dropped. "So, all this time, Daniel thought he was climbing the ladder on his own, but he was working for me." "Yes," Harold said. "And now, the company is yours. You have full authority. But your father anticipated that you'd want to move carefully. He left a step-by-step guide on how to assert your control without alarming anyone prematurely." Emily clenched her fists. "Good. I want to know everything. Every detail. Every clause. Every loophole. I want Daniel to realize that his little celebration, it's over." Lily whispered, leaning closer. "Emily, are you sure you want to do this now? You just lost your dad. You're pregnant. You need a plan. Smart, calculated, not reckless." Emily's eyes hardened. "I'm not reckless. I'm prepared. Dad wouldn't have left me this way if he didn't think I could handle it. And Daniel is about to see what it means to underestimate someone." That evening, Emily and Lily went back to her apartment. Emily placed the walking stick carefully by the window, as if her father's spirit was standing there, watching. Lily poured them both tea. "Okay, what's the first move?" Emily spread out the company documents on the table. "We need to understand every department, every executive, every contract. Daniel thinks is running the company, but he doesn't have control. Yet." Lily scribbled notes. "We could start with the board meetings, maybe review the financial statements, get a full picture before you make a move." Emily nodded. "Exactly. Step 1 is understanding everything. Step 2 is letting Daniel think he still has power while we quietly take control. Step 3 is the revelation. Step 4 is Olivia realizing she married into nothing." Lily smirked. "You really are turning this into a plan." Emily shrugged. "Not a plan, a legacy. Dad taught me the power of patience. The right moment changes everything. The next day, Emily called the company's HR department, pretending to be an executive assistant from a subsidiary. "Hello. I'm calling to request copies of all operational reports for the last fiscal year," she said. There was a pause. I need authorization." Emily smiled, hiding the fire in her chest. "Of course. Here's my authorization code." She read a code from her father's documents. The HR rep hesitated, then complied. "Reports will be emailed by end of day," they said. Emily hung up, adrenaline pumping. Step 1, in motion. "Lily, they're going to send everything. Financials, contracts, employee lists, the works." Lily nodded. "Perfect. And Daniel still has no clue, right?" Emily's lips pressed together. "No clue. He thinks he's untouchable. But soon, he'll realize his empire was never his to begin with." That night, Emily sat on the couch, laptop open. She opened the financial reports, scanning through the numbers. Every line told the same story. Daniel had been running operations under her father's control, never realizing the truth. Her phone buzzed. A notification from Daniel. "Emily, we need to talk. Can we meet tonight?" Emily laughed quietly. "Oh, he wants to talk. This is perfect." Lily leaned over. "Do you respond?" Emily shook her head. "Not yet. Let him think he still has power. Patience. That's what Dad would want. Right now, we build the foundation. Step 1, complete control. Step 2, the revelation." Lily nodded, impressed. "You're calm. I can't believe how calm you are after everything." Emily smiled faintly. "Because I know the truth. I have power my father gave me. I am never powerless. And Daniel is about to find out what that really means." Emily discovers a hidden clause in the company bylaws. If she asserts ownership fully, she can legally remove Daniel and Olivia from the company within 48 hours. Her pulse races. She whispers, "Daniel, Olivia, your time is almost up." Emily sat in her apartment, surrounded by reports, charts, and her father's notes. Lily hovered near the window, notebook open, scribbling furiously. "Emily, this is insane," Lily said. "You're about to walk into a battlefield. Daniel has no idea you even exist as the owner. And Olivia, she's ambitious. She'll fight." Emily's hands rested on the walking stick her father had given her. "Exactly. And that's why we move carefully. Quietly. Step by step. First, the internal systems. Then, the revelation." Lily nodded. "Okay, internal systems. That means email access, board communications, approvals. Basically, you need to be everywhere Daniel isn't looking." Emily opened her laptop. "Yes, and thanks to Dad's planning, I have admin credentials, override privileges, everything. Step 1 is making sure I see every contract, every deal, every decision he's making. He thinks he's in control, but I'm already pulling the strings." Lily raised an eyebrow. "You're calm. I'd be shaking if I were in your shoes." Emily shook her head. "Not shaking. Focused. Dad wouldn't have left me powerless. And neither will Daniel." By noon, Emily had full access to the company's internal communications. Every email, memo, and document flew across her screen. "Lily, look at this," Emily whispered, pointing at an email chain. "Daniel just approved a multi-million-dollar contract without noticing a clause Dad added. If I activate it, it automatically gives me final approval rights." Lily leaned closer. "You mean you can override him right now?" Emily nodded. "Yes, but patience. We wait. We gather more info, make the move when it counts. If I do this too early, it'll be messy. Dad wanted this to be clean. Calculated. Ruthless, if needed, but not messy." Lily scribbled more notes. "Got it. Calculated. Clean. Let's see how long Daniel stays in the dark." That evening, Emily got a message from Daniel. "Emily, I know you're angry. Can we talk tomorrow? I want to fix things." Emily showed it to Lily. "See, he still thinks he has a chance to manipulate me. He has no idea how much power I actually have." Lily frowned. "You're going to wait, right? Don't reply." Emily shook her head. "Not yet. Step 2, observation. I need to know his moves. I need to know how Olivia reacts. That's where the real leverage comes from." The next morning, Emily logged into the company system and noticed unusual activity. Olivia had been emailing several executives, trying to coordinate Daniel's schedule, probably trying to cement her place as co-CEO without realizing the game had changed. Lily, she's moving fast, Emily said. She's smart, but she doesn't know who she's working for. Every move she makes, I see first. Every plan she thinks is safe. I can counter quietly. Lily nodded. And Daniel? Emily smiled faintly. Daniel's blind. Is running around trying to impress her, thinking he's the boss. Meanwhile, he's completely irrelevant. By mid-afternoon, Emily started making subtle changes behind the scenes. A few emails redirected. Some approvals paused automatically. One small budget adjustment here, a minor HR reassignment there. Nothing overt, but enough to make Olivia start noticing discrepancies. She received her first alert within hours. Olivia's assistant called Emily's phone by mistake. Miss Richardson, are you in the system? Emily hid a smile. Yes, how can I help? The assistant stammered. There's some approvals that were processed differently. Daniel, he said not to make changes. Emily's voice was calm. I'll look into it. Thank you for letting me know. Lily whispered, wide-eyed. They are starting to notice. You're shaking things already. Emily nodded. Patience, it's just the beginning. Later that evening, Emily reviewed the contracts again. She found a hidden clause that her father had included specifically for emergencies. If she asserted ownership fully, she could remove Daniel and Olivia from all executive roles within 48 hours. Her pulse quickened. Lily, this is it. If I move carefully, in 2 days, Daniel has zero control. Zero. And Olivia, she'll realize she married into nothing. Exactly what Dad predicted. Lily gasped. 2 days? That's insane. Are you ready for that? Emily placed her hand on her belly. I don't just have to be ready. I have to be smart. For me. For the baby. For Dad's legacy. We do this right, and it's clean. No mess, no drama. But the revelation will be absolute. That night, Emily's phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. Emily, I know what you're doing. You have to stop. Daniel and Olivia, they're dangerous. Don't wake the hornet's nest. Emily froze. She looked at Lily. Someone knows. Lily frowned. Who would know? Dad didn't leave anyone else in the loop. Emily shook her head. I don't know, but whoever sent this, they are worried. And that means we're on the right track. Step 3, the revelation, has to be perfect. Timing is everything. The next morning, Emily went to the company headquarters under the guise of a routine check-in. She walked past Daniel's office, pretending to be delivering a report. Daniel barely looked up. Emily, you're here early, he said casually. Want coffee? Emily smiled. Calm. No, thank you. Just wanted to check the executive reports. Everything looks fine. Daniel nodded, returning to his phone. Olivia peeked from the corner, her eyes sharp. She noticed Emily's confidence, something she couldn't quite place. She's different, Olivia whispered. Why does she act like she owns the place? Daniel shrugged. Maybe she's finally realizing what's going on. Or maybe she's lost it. Emily walked away, a quiet smirk playing at her lips. They have no idea. They are walking straight into the trap. That night, Emily activated the first clause in her father's emergency instructions. A silent email triggered board notification. She now has full authority over all executive decisions. She whispers to Lily, heart racing, Daniel and Olivia, tomorrow, they see the truth. Tomorrow, everything changes. The next morning, Emily woke early, her hand resting on her belly. Lily sat beside her, coffee steaming between them, and whispered, Today's the day. Are you ready? Emily nodded, calm, focused. I've been ready my whole life. Today, they see everything. By 9 a.m., she arrived at the company headquarters. Security greeted her with puzzled expressions. Her ID now gave her full clearance. She smiled politely, showing no sign of the storm she was about to unleash. Inside, Daniel and Olivia were already at their desks, speaking in hushed tones. Emily walked past, greeting them casually. Morning, Daniel. Olivia, she said. I thought I'd check in personally. It's important to stay hands-on. Daniel looked up. confused. Emily, you don't need to. Emily interrupted, calm but firm. Actually, I do. Today, I want to review all pending contracts and approvals personally. Olivia's eyes narrowed. Pending approvals? Yes, Emily said, smiling. Especially the ones that could affect company leadership. Daniel's jaw tightened. What are you talking about? Emily ignored him, opening her laptop. Let's start with budgets. Then contracts. Then, maybe, executive roles. Lily whispered. Watch their reactions. Every look tells a story. Daniel's hand trembled slightly as he reached for his phone. Emily, is this a joke? Emily looked up, voice calm, unwavering. No joke. Dad planned this. I am the owner. I have authority over every decision in this company. That includes you and Olivia. Olivia gasped, covering her mouth. What do you mean? Emily pointed at her screen. Every contract Daniel approved, every deal, every executive decision. I can override it. And starting now, I have final say. Dad anticipated every move. He left instructions for exactly this situation. Daniel froze, panic rising. This can't be legal. It is, Emily said firmly. Every document is in the trust. Every clause bulletproof. I've been prepared for this. And now, so are you. By mid-morning, word had spread to the board. Executives whispered behind their hands, some shocked, some exhilarated. Daniel tried to rally support, but Emily had control. Each call, each email, each approval that crossed her desk reinforced her authority. Olivia's confident facade began to crack. Lily leaned close. Look at her. She's sweating. You can feel it, can't you? Emily nodded. Yes, that's the point. Confidence comes from power. They feel it now. Daniel made his first move. He stormed into the executive conference room, papers in hand. Emily, you can't just take over. It's not how it works. We partners, co-CEOs. You don't. Emily held up a hand, stopping him. Daniel, Dad anticipated this. You thought Olivia and I would be irrelevant? That I would sit quietly while you used her to dismiss me? No. Step aside. Let me handle this. Daniel's face turned red with frustration. Handle this? You have no idea what you're doing. I run this company. Emily's eyes narrowed. You thought you did. But you never did. You just thought you owned the company because you were married to me. And Olivia, you thought she'd secure your future. Guess what? You both were wrong. Olivia's voice cracked. Emily, we didn't know. We didn't realize. Emily shook her head. You did know. You just thought I wouldn't act. Dad's instructions, the trust, I have the final say, and I plan to execute it fully. Lily whispered, watch him unravel. Daniel slammed his hand on the table. This is insane. You can't just. I won't. Emily's voice was calm, icy. You already have. The trust is irrevocable. Dad made sure you could never touch a penny. Your marriage, your plans, irrelevant. Now, you leave the office. You leave me in charge. And Olivia, you resign or you face removal. Olivia swallowed hard. And if I don't? Emily leaned in, voice steady. Then you'll be removed. Both of you. Dad planned it this way. And I will execute it carefully, efficiently. You have no leverage. None. By lunch, the news had reached every department. Staff whispered. Employees stared at Emily with awe. She walked through the office, calm, controlled, every step measured. Lily nudged her. Emily, you're incredible. They can't touch you. Emily smiled faintly, hand on her belly. This isn't about revenge. It's about justice. Dad taught me that. And I don't need to destroy anyone. I just need to let the truth speak for itself. That afternoon, Daniel tried one last desperate move. He called a board meeting, thinking he could challenge Emily's authority publicly. Emily entered first, her laptop open, documents ready. The board chairman looked at her in shock. Miss Richardson, you have full authority. Emily nodded. Yes, Dad's trust is ironclad. I have final say over every decision, every executive role, every contract. Daniel and Olivia are no longer authorized to act without my approval. Gasps echoed through the room. Daniel fumed. Olivia's eyes filled with tears. Emily continued, calm and precise. This company, Dad's legacy, it will be protected. Those who thought they could take advantage will see they miscalculated. And that includes Daniel and Olivia. Step aside, or you will be removed immediately. By evening, Daniel and Olivia realized they had no options. Their faces drained of color, panic rising. Emily sent them home, quietly but firmly. Employees whispered, some cheering secretly. Lily leaned close, whispering, "They're done. They are completely done." Emily nodded, exhausted but exhilarated. Not yet. Tomorrow, they see the final part. The revelation. That's when it hits them fully. When they understand. Dad made sure nothing could save them. Only the truth can. Emily's first move as the legal owner is complete. Daniel and Olivia are powerless, but they don't know how far the revelation will go. Emily looks at the city skyline from her office, hand on her belly, and whispers, "Tomorrow, they find out who I really am, and nothing will ever be the same." The next morning, Emily arrived at the office with a sense of calm that made everyone stop and stare. Daniel and Olivia had both shown up, clearly unsure of what they were allowed to do. Their faces betrayed fear now, the first crack in their confidence. Lily whispered, "They still think they can fight. Watch how fast that changes." Emily nodded, her hand resting lightly on her belly. Today, they see everything. She called a brief all-hands meeting, and employees gathered in the main conference room, murmuring nervously. Daniel and Olivia stood to one side, exchanging worried glances. "Good morning, everyone," Emily began, her voice steady. "I know this is unusual, but I have an announcement that affects the company, our leadership, and every one of you. I've just taken full control of the company, and I want you to understand why." Gasps rippled through the room. Daniel stepped forward, voice sharp. "Emily, you don't." Emily held up a hand, cutting him off. "Daniel, this isn't up for debate. Dad's trust is ironclad. I am the legal owner, and what I'm about to reveal will make that very clear." Olivia's face paled. She whispered to Daniel, "What is she going to say?" Daniel shook his head, his jaw tight. "I don't know, but we need to stop her." Emily ignored them, turning back to the employees. 3 weeks ago, my father, who many of you knew as a humble man, left instructions that would secure this company and protect me from anyone who thought they could take advantage. And that includes Daniel and Olivia. A few employees whispered, trying to understand what she meant. Emily continued, voice calm but firm. "My father built this company from nothing. Daniel thought he could control it through marriage. Olivia thought she could secure her position by playing her part. But they were wrong. Every contract, every decision, every dollar. My father made sure it would be under my control." Daniel's hand trembled as he tried to speak. "Emily, you can't just—" "Yes, I can," Emily interrupted. "And I have. Dad anticipated this exact situation. Every document, every trust, everything I need, it's all here." She opened her laptop, projecting documents onto the screen. Stock certificates, property deeds, and trust papers filled the room. Emily's finger tapped the first certificate. "I am the sole beneficiary. Daniel and Olivia have no access, no control, no legal authority. Dad made that very clear." Olivia gasped, covering her mouth. You can't." "I can," Emily said. "And I will. Dad protected me. He protected the company. And now, it's my turn to protect the people who work here, the employees who gave their best every day." Lily leaned close, whispering, "Look at them. They thought they had it all. Now they realize how powerless they are." Emily's eyes locked on Daniel. "You walked away from the person who loved you, thinking you were gaining something better. You didn't know what you were leaving. And now, you see the truth." Daniel's face went red with anger. "This isn't fair. You can't just—" Emily's voice was calm, ice cold. "Fair? Daniel, this isn't about fairness. It's about truth. And the truth is, you and Olivia miscalculated. You thought I was weak, poor, powerless. You were wrong. And Dad made sure of it." Employees whispered, some looking at Emily with awe. Daniel's anger grew, but there was no recourse. Olivia was shaking, tears welling in her eyes. Emily continued, walking slowly around the room. I know this is hard to believe, but everything you see here is real. And the most important part? This company, Dad's legacy, my father's dream, it's safe. Because I have the final say. Daniel tried one last desperate move, raising his voice. You can't just take over everything. This is my life too. Emily stopped, calm, steady. It was never yours to take. You thought marriage gave you ownership. You were wrong. Dad anticipated that. I have the trust, the documents, everything. Today, I am in control. And you will step aside. Olivia's voice cracked. Emily, what will happen to us? Emily's eyes softened slightly, but her tone remained firm. You leave quietly. You resign. You accept that what you tried to take is not yours. And you live with the truth. You underestimated me. By mid-afternoon, the story had spread. Employees whispered in hallways, some cheering in secret. Daniel and Olivia were isolated, powerless, their previous confidence completely gone. Emily sat at her desk, reviewing budgets, approving contracts, and signing documents. Lily leaned over. They don't even know where to start, Lily said. Emily smiled faintly. Tomorrow, they learn the rest. The part that will change everything permanently. The final revelation. As the office emptied, Daniel stared at Emily, his mind racing. Olivia sobbed quietly in a corner. Emily's phone buzzed, a private message from a journalist asking for a meeting. The story of the company's secret inheritance and Emily's sudden control was about to go public. Emily looked at her belly, whispering, "They have no idea what's coming next." The next morning, Emily arrived at the office early. Lily was already there, coffee in hand, eyes bright with anticipation. "They're going to be in full panic mode today," Lily whispered. "I can't wait to see their faces." Emily nodded, keeping her expression neutral. "Let's make sure the truth is undeniable this time. No room for doubt." By 9 a.m., Daniel and Olivia had arrived, already bracing for what they knew was coming. But they had no idea how public it would get. Emily had contacted a major business journalist overnight. The headline would read, "The Untold Story, the True Owner of Daniel's Company Revealed." She tapped her phone. They think they've seen everything. They haven't. The employees gathered again in the conference room, murmuring with curiosity. Daniel tried to intercept Emily before she started, but she held up a hand. "Daniel, please, let this happen," Emily said calmly. "The world needs to see what you didn't understand. Power isn't taken, it's given or protected. And my father made sure of that." Daniel's lips pressed tight. Olivia's fingers trembled as she clutched her purse. Emily started the meeting by projecting a short video she had prepared with the journalist. It detailed her father's life, his secret investments, and how he had slowly built Daniel's company from the ground up. The room went silent as the video played. Employees gasped as they saw documents, bank statements, and interviews with financial experts confirming that Emily's father had been the real owner all along. Daniel's face went pale. Olivia's mouth fell open. Emily spoke over the silence, calm but firm. For months, Daniel thought he controlled this company. Olivia thought she could secure her position by marrying him. But neither of you realized the truth. Everything you believed about ownership, power, and control was a lie. A few employees whispered to each other. Some were angry, some were in disbelief, but the majority were staring at Emily with awe, her calm authority filling the room. Daniel tried to interrupt. "Emily, stop. This isn't real. You can't." Emily's eyes cut to him sharply. "Yes, Daniel, it's real. Dad built this company. He trusted you to manage it responsibly. But when he saw the betrayal, the disregard, he protected the real ownership. And now," she gestured to the projection, "now the world knows. And that includes every investor, every client, every partner." Olivia sank into a chair, her face pale. I can't believe this," she whispered. Emily's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, then back at the room. The journalist confirmed. The story goes live at noon. By lunch, the news will be everywhere. By tomorrow, there will be no question who truly owns this company. Daniel clenched his fists. "You're going to ruin everything." Emily's voice was calm, almost soft. "No, Daniel, you already ruined everything. You chose greed over loyalty, betrayal over love. Today is just the day the truth catches up. By 11:30 a.m., employees were checking their phones, whispering to each other. The headlines had hit. The story detailed the full inheritance, the trust protecting Emily, and the shocking revelation that Daniel had never been the true owner. Olivia burst into tears. This is insane. Emily's hand rested on her belly. The truth is never insane, Olivia. It's unavoidable. Daniel stalked to the door, trying to gather his composure. This isn't over, he growled. Emily's gaze followed him. It's over for you, Daniel. For everyone who underestimated me, it's over. Now it's time to move forward. Lily leaned close, whispering, You've broken them. Completely. And everyone else sees it. Emily nodded. Yes, but I'm not here to break people. I'm here to rebuild what was broken, starting with this company and the people who care about it. By late afternoon, Emily had held individual meetings with key employees. They were nervous at first, unsure if she could handle the weight of her new responsibilities. But her clarity, her calm, and her detailed understanding of the company quickly reassured them. Meanwhile, Daniel and Olivia were sidelined, powerless. They couldn't access accounts, approve decisions, or influence staff. The realization hit them hard. They had lost everything, and it was irreversible. Olivia whispered to Daniel, We can't fight this. It's too late. She has it all. Daniel shook his head, frustrated. I can't believe this. How could we not know? All this time, we thought we had control. Emily, hearing the whispers as she passed, smiled faintly. The only control you ever had was an illusion. Dad knew it, I knew it, and now the world knows it too. Emily's phone buzzed again. A message from the journalist, We getting calls from top investors. They want interviews. They want to know how you lead. The world is watching. Emily, are you ready? Emily looked down at her belly, feeling the baby kick. She whispered, Yes, we're ready. But as she did, she noticed Daniel lingering by the door, his expression dark, a plan forming behind his eyes. The storm wasn't over yet. By the next morning, the office buzzed with whispers. Emily had arrived early again, her belly showing more now, her determination as strong as ever. Lily met her at the entrance. They are panicking, Lily said, handing Emily a cup of coffee. Daniel's trying to get lawyers involved. Olivia is crying in the lobby. They've realized they have zero control. Emily took a deep breath. Good. Let them feel it. But we have work to do. I need to secure the company before they try anything reckless. Meanwhile, Daniel sat in his luxury apartment, his phone buzzing non-stop. Calls from lawyers, investors, and even his parents demanding explanations. He slammed his hand on the table. How did this happen? How could Emily take everything? Olivia paced, tears streaming. Daniel, we didn't know. We were blind. You can't just sit here feeling sorry for yourself. We have to fight back. Daniel shook his head. Fight? Against what? She controls the company, the trust, the money. Every move I make now will look desperate. Every move will prove we're powerless. Back at the office, Emily started her day with a strategy meeting. Key department heads gathered around her. I know this is sudden, Emily began. You've worked hard to make this company successful. I want to ensure that continues. We're going to move forward with transparency, integrity, and respect for every employee. An older manager spoke up. Miss Emily, it's just hard to believe. Daniel and Olivia, we've always seen them as the leadership. You're in charge. How can we trust this? Emily met his eyes. Because this isn't about me. It's about protecting the company, the employees, and the people who actually care about it. My father built this empire. Daniel managed it. But the foundation is mine to protect. And I intend to do exactly that. The room went quiet, the employees digesting her words, some nodding, some hesitant, but respect was growing. By mid-morning, Daniel made his first move. He called a press conference, hoping to publicly challenge Emily's claim. He wanted to present himself as the rightful owner, to discredit her in front of investors and clients. Emily was notified immediately. Lily rushed to her side. They're going public. Daniel's going to try and make this messy. Emily stayed calm. Then we'll be ready. This isn't about anger or revenge. It's about showing the truth, and the truth always wins. At the press conference, Daniel's face was tense. Olivia stood beside him, forcing a smile. Cameras flashed, reporters scribbled notes. Daniel started, "Good morning, everyone. I want to clarify. Emily is making claims about ownership that are misleading. I've been running this company for years. I have led it, grown it, and invested my own efforts into it." A reporter raised a hand. "Mr. Davis, are you aware of the documents released yesterday showing Ms. Parker is the actual beneficiary of the trust controlling the company?" Daniel froze for a fraction of a second. He quickly recovered. "Those documents, they're being misrepresented. We're reviewing them legally. Nothing has changed." Emily, watching live from her office, leaned back in her chair. Her father's words echoed in her mind. True power waits, moves when the time is right. She smiled faintly. That afternoon, emails flooded the company inbox. Investors were requesting meetings, employees were sending messages of support. Emily and Lily spent hours going through everything, preparing statements and action plans. Lily looked up, concerned. They're not giving up. Daniel just sent a legal notice trying to freeze access to the accounts. He's desperate. Emily's voice was steady. "Let him try. Everything is bulletproof. He underestimated my father, and now he's underestimating me. That's his mistake." By evening, Daniel escalated further. He had hired a PR team, lawyers, and even a private investigator, trying to dig up any dirt on Emily that could discredit her. Emily's phone buzzed. A message from the journalist. "Daniel's legal team is trying to block the story from going viral. Investors are calling. Employees are nervous. You need to make a move before they gain traction." Emily exhaled. "It's time. Lily, let's prepare the public statement. Full transparency, no emotion, just facts. And make sure it goes live tonight." Lily nodded. "On it. Are you sure you want to go public?" Emily placed a hand on her belly. "I have to. It's not just about me or the company anymore. It's about protecting everyone who depends on this empire. They need to know who's in charge and who's trustworthy." By 9 p.m., Emily's statement went live across social media, news outlets, and business networks. It outlined her father's ownership, the trust protecting the company, and her vision for its future. The response was immediate. Support, respect, and even admiration poured in from every corner. Daniel watched helplessly as his plans collapsed. Olivia clung to him, shaking. We have to do something." Daniel's face was pale. "There's nothing left to do. Everything we thought we had, gone." At the office, Emily watched the live feeds, reading reactions from employees and investors. She turned to Lily. "They see it now," Emily said softly. "The truth is out, and there's no turning back." Lily grinned. "You just made history. And you did it with integrity. Not anger. Not revenge. Just you." Emily's phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. It was Daniel. "This isn't over. You think this ends here? You're about to regret everything." Emily read the message, her fingers tightening around the walking stick her father had left her. She smiled faintly, calm, and whispered to herself, "No, Daniel, this is just the beginning, and I'm ready for everything you throw at me." Emily looked out the office window at the city lights, feeling her baby kick. The stakes were higher than ever. Daniel's next move was unpredictable, and Olivia's desperation could lead to dangerous choices. Somewhere in the shadows of the company, Daniel was already plotting. But Emily had her father's legacy, her own determination, and the truth on her side. The storm wasn't over, and the battle for control had only just begun. Emily sat on the edge of her bed, the envelope from her father unopened on the nightstand. Her hands shook as she stared at the small key tied around the walking stick, the weight of what it might unlock pressing on her chest. Every time she thought about Daniel, about Olivia, she felt her stomach twist, her baby kicking as if warning her. Her phone buzzed. It was her friend, Lily. "Emily, are you awake?" Lily's voice came through, tight with concern. I'm here," Emily whispered. I don't even know where to start." "Start with breathing," Lily said. "Then the key. Then the plan your dad left. You're not alone in this." Emily nodded, tears blurring her vision. She held the walking stick tightly, pressing it to her chest as if it could give her strength. He knew, she said, voice breaking. He knew Daniel would do this. I know, Lily said softly, but he also left a way for you to fight back. Emily, you just have to take the first step. Emily took a shaky breath. Okay, I'll go to the bank today. Good, Lily said. I'm coming with you. You don't have to do this alone. The drive to the bank felt like an eternity. Emily kept staring at the key, wondering how it would feel to finally see what her father had protected for her. Every turn of the wheel, every red light, every pedestrian crossing in front of them made her heart race. She wanted to scream, cry, punch something, but she couldn't. She had to stay strong. For herself, for the baby, for her father. The bank loomed ahead, tall, imposing, marble pillars and glass reflecting the sunlight. Emily felt a flicker of fear. What if the safety deposit box was empty? What if Daniel had somehow found it? You'll see, Lily said, noticing her hesitation. Whatever's in there, it's your future, not his. Inside, the bank smelled faintly of polished wood and money. Emily's heels clicked against the marble floor, echoing in the quiet. They reached the private vault room. A manager in a crisp suit approached, bowing slightly. Miss Lane, he asked, voice polite but firm. That's me, Emily said. Her hands were still shaking. I need to access safety deposit box 321. Of course, he said. Do you have a key? Emily lifted the small, brass key from her pocket. The manager nodded, leading them into the private room. The door closed behind them. Emily's heart pounded as she inserted the key, turned it, and lifted the lid. Inside, documents, a thick folder with her name on it. Certificates, letters, contracts. She flipped it open. Oh my God, she whispered. Emily. Lily asked, leaning over her shoulder. Her eyes darted across the pages. Stock certificates, shares of companies, a letter from her father. He had done it. Her father had left her everything Daniel had walked away from. Her hand tightened on the folder. She could feel the tears start to fall again, but they were different now. Not just grief, this was power, realization, the kind her father had promised. Lily put a hand on her shoulder. You see it, right? You're untouchable now. No one can hurt you or your baby financially. Emily nodded, barely able to speak. He made sure I'd be protected, no matter what Daniel did. Emily opened the first letter in the folder. Her father's handwriting, familiar, strong. My dearest Emily. She swallowed hard, feeling her heart tighten as she read the first words. Her father had predicted everything. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every moment of weakness. And he had already prepared the path forward, bulletproof and untouchable. Emily felt her baby kick, strong and insistent. She held her stomach, whispering, We're going to be okay. Daddy's right. We'll be okay. Outside, the world went on, unaware of the storm that had just begun in Emily Lane's life. And as she read the next pages of the folder, her mind raced. Daniel had thought he was walking away from a powerless, grieving wife. He had no idea that Emily Lane, 5 weeks pregnant and still raw with grief, was about to become untouchable and unstoppable. Emily's father had left her a plan that could change everything, but Daniel and Olivia had no idea what was coming. And Emily? She had to figure it all out. Fast. Emily's hands trembled as she clutched the key dangling from her father's walking stick. The metal felt cold, heavy with meaning. She stared at the imposing bank doors, taking a shaky breath. I can do this, she whispered to herself. Her phone buzzed. It was Lily. You okay? She asked the moment Emily answered. I think so. Just nervous, Emily admitted. I don't even know what I'm about to find. Hey, Lily said gently, whatever it is, you won't face it alone. I'm with you. Just breathe, Emily. You got this. Emily nodded, even though Lily couldn't see her. She stepped inside the bank, her heart hammering. The marble floors and tall ceilings made her feel small, but the key around her walking stick reminded her of something else. Her father's last words, the promise he made to protect her, even after he was gone. The receptionist looked up. Good morning. Can I help you? Yes, Emily said, her voice shaking. I need to access a safety deposit box. Number 47 to 22. The woman typed quickly and paused. "One moment, please. I'll need the manager." Within minutes, a tall man in a tailored suit approached. "Miss Landon," Emily said. "Emily Landon." He nodded. "I'm Gerald Prescott, branch manager. Please follow me." They walked down a quiet corridor lined with security doors. Gerald unlocked the private room, and Emily set the walking stick on the table. She shook as she inserted the key. The lock clicked, and the door swung open. Inside was a single large envelope, sealed with a wax stamp. Emily's hands were shaking too much to open it immediately. She took a deep breath, then broke the seal. A letter fell out, folded neatly. Emily picked it up, recognizing her father's handwriting immediately. "My dearest Emily, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and I know your heart is heavy. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there longer, but I made sure you'd never be powerless. This is why I left you the key, to show you that your strength comes not from anyone else, but from within. What you find here will protect you, my baby girl. Trust the plan." Tears streamed down Emily's face. She unfolded the envelope fully, revealing legal documents, stock certificates, and account statements she barely understood. Her father had left everything to her. Every asset, every share in his companies, all secured in trusts Marcus could never touch. Her mind spun. She looked at the papers, at the numbers, at the reality of her inheritance. $5 billion. $5 billion that her father had worked in secret, all for her. Lily's text buzzed again. "Are you okay?" Emily typed back quickly. I don't even know what to say. Everything's here. He really protected me." Her fingers shook as she called Harold, her father's attorney. He picked up immediately. "Miss Landon," he said warmly. "I've been expecting your call. Your father, he was prepared for everything. And yes, this is all yours. Completely secure. No one can touch it, not Daniel, not Olivia, no one." Emily exhaled, relief mixing with shock. I don't even know what to do first." Harold chuckled softly. "That's okay. We'll guide you. But remember, your father's plan wasn't just about money. It was about showing you your strength. Let them leave, Emily. Let them believe they won. Your power isn't in revenge. It's in what you do next." Emily nodded, even though he couldn't see her. She held the walking stick tightly. "I can do this." By the next morning, she had signed the divorce papers Daniel had left behind and sent them to his lawyer. She refused the private jet Harold offered. She wanted one last day to feel normal, to process everything. The following day, she arrived at Hartwell & Associates' office in Manhattan. The elevator opened to the 47th floor, glass walls, sleek chrome, quiet wealth. Portraits of stern men lined the hall. And then Harold appeared, smiling warmly. "Emily Landon," he said, "welcome home." Inside, Emily met Patricia, the financial advisor, and David, the accountant. They explained everything. Controlling shares in multiple companies, real estate holdings, stock portfolios. Her father had built an empire without her knowing. 3 weeks later, Emily hosted her first meeting for the foundation her father had started with a $500 million endowment. She was 7 months pregnant, wearing an emerald green maternity dress, her confidence shining. Every detail was in her control now. Then Daniel and Olivia arrived. Daniel's face went pale when he saw Emily, radiating strength, glowing with purpose. Olivia's smile faltered when she realized she had no idea who she was dealing with. Emily addressed the room. 3 months ago, I lost my father. I was 6 weeks pregnant. My husband asked for a divorce. They thought I was weak. They thought I had nothing. What they didn't know is, I've always had strength. I've always had support. And my father, he prepared me for this moment. This foundation is for women who feel powerless, for women who've been told they are not enough. Applause filled the room. Daniel and Olivia froze, unable to comprehend the transformation. Outside, in the parking garage, Olivia's composure broke. "Oh my God, Daniel, you left a billionaire. We. Daniel's voice was hollow. "We didn't know." Emily didn't hear them. She didn't need to. Her eyes were on her baby, kicking strong inside her. Her father's walking stick rested nearby, a reminder of the legacy, the protection, and the strength she had inherited. Months later, Emily gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Daniel was allowed supervised visits, and Olivia disappeared into obscurity, her life smaller than she imagined. Emily, however, built the foundation into a force for change, helping hundreds of women reclaim their lives. And when Emily walked into the kindergarten classroom to drop her daughter off, she realized something Daniel never could. Power isn't in control over others. True power is in rising above betrayal, embracing your strength, and building a life so full, so meaningful, that no one else's actions can touch it. Emily smiled, placing her hand on her belly. We did it, Daddy. We really did it.